It reached number 4 in the charts back in 1987. That's the Shantuzis.
It is.
And their version of the Witch Queen of New Orleans. Ben and Mark with you on this Sunday night.
It's me and him.
Good to have you along on Retro Rock.
Lame. It's good to have me along as well, you know.
I know it's good to have you along.
And good to have you along.
It's good to have me
and
along.
It's good to have
Tottie Goldsmith along.
G'day, Tottie.
Bing.
Hey, Mark. Hey, Ben.
Ben, how are you? This is Ben over here.
Ben to the left, Mark to the right.
Can't you see us?
Oh, yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
And the rose is in the middle. That's you.
I was about to Hi, guys. Happy Sunday.
Yes. How has your
Happy Sunday to you, my dear girl.
Thank you.
How has your day
How's your
been? Oh, wow.
Well, I'm good. I've been swimming and I've been doing lots of things.
Oh, have you?
Perfect Sunday, yeah.
Oh,
Lovely.
Awesome.
I have to admit, I spent the day with family celebrating my father-in-law's birthday at lunch in Darling Harbour.
Oh, nice. How was the weather?
Weather was wonderful here in Sydney. The food was great. Service was okay. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to mention the restaurant. I'll plug the food. The food was absolutely sensational, but the service, let's
Was
just
a
say
bit out of the hand.
when you bring 4 dishes to a group of people and nobody's ordered those 4 dishes, you sort of question to yourself, what's their system like?
Damn, they really got it wrong. That's embarrassing.
Just.
Just a little bit.
Yes.
Aw.
Looking back at that track, 1987, does it seem like such a long time ago that everybody got together for your 25th birthday party just to see what happened?
It's just bizarre because it was my birthday, and last August, it was the end of August, was our 30 years. And we're standing there, it landed on a Saturday, so we were fortunate enough to be able to do a gig to celebrate it. And we're looking at each other going, 30, really? 30 years? It's just, but it's like anything in life. It's just, life happens, and then when you have these kind of marks, these timelines, it's hard to understand. I've got a 23-year-old daughter, and I still can't believe it.
I know
Wow.
how you feel. My daughter's turning 23 in April next year, so yeah, I get that.
It's just kind of like, really, I did that.
I know.
That's good.
Oh look,
But no, it doesn't. It doesn't. It feels like what it is. It's just time's, full, and we've made the most of it. So.
But it's not over yet. That's the big thing, and that's the best thing.
No. Well, the 80s music, 80s, 90s music's pretty big again. We're working a lot.
Yes.
It's getting a bit of a revival, isn't it? Like a lot of the bands these days are oversampling and resampling a lot of the 80s stuff now.
Yeah, we really noticed it actually in 2005. Marco Godinsky and Molly Meldrum pulled on the Countdown Spectacular that was touring the country with, I think it was like 29 bands.
Yes.
The first one that we were involved with.
Yep.
And they sold out absolutely everywhere. And I think it just really showed that people of our generation are out again. The kids growing up and they want to party and remember what it was like when we were younger, because it does. You feel like you were back in the day without all the ego and record companies.
Personally, well, it's true. And personally, I actually miss those concerts when they were going around, and I'm kicking myself. However, and we'll talk about it in a little while, the latest round of Pure Gold Live. I'll run through some of the bands and everything else of which you guys are involved with as well. But it's just, for us, that was life.
It's like a good friend of ours who's part of the
lineup.
The lineup, Mark Williams and Todd Hunter from Dragon. They're great friends of the show, great friends of ours now, and we get to speak to them a lot. It's, as you said, the 80s music is coming back. You've got the Angels coming, they've come back. You've got the Screaming Jets have come back, getting back into it again, You've got Dragon still kicking it on, It's fantastic, isn't it?
It's so good, and it's such a good feeling. Like, we have so much fun backstage. Everyone's just, we all know each other so well now, and we actually, a whole group of us did a Cruise and Groove, which is, a big line, I think it was Radiance of the Sea, that hired bands and on like 8 nights. And,
Yep.
There were half of the bands that we work with were doing that, so there's this real camaraderie and sort of buddy system. We're all really good friends. We all know each other so well and have been touring together. And even people that I didn't get to know well, like Sharon O'Neill, I've got to know. And the
lovely.
other guys from my sex that we hadn't crossed paths with them because we're such different genres to them.
Yeah,
of course.
But we're all getting to know each other so well through all of these Pure Gold Life lineups.
Well, just with that, back when you guys were first around, and even possibly before that, because you've been part of the entertainment industry
for
since
many years,
almost. Well, it'll sound crude, but almost from conception, that you've been involved with it. Have you ever noticed a change in all the backstage behaviour? Was it a lot of not necessarily fighting, but people posturing up, going, "We're better than you," and this and that? In Australia, has it always been?
It was the sort of heady 80s where there were drugs and a lot of alcohol in those days, and everyone's grown up and gone out of that crap. So
thank God.
It's a lot tamer. I mean, people do still drink, but not exorbitant amounts. And it's, when people are in their 20s and they're getting all these hits, it's a place where ego can start sort of manifesting, and that seems to look. There's some people that still walk around and have some kind of weird opinion of themselves.
That's
overall,
true.
People are just kind of really down to earth and really respect and feel very blessed that they can still do what they love, and
that's brilliant.
Yeah, in those young days, everyone had a lot more energy and it was a bit more out of control, but it's nicer. It's a lot nicer now.
I agree. Like, we've been very fortunate the last few years being able to speak to, people like John and Rick Brewster, Ian Moss and, Mark Lazzotti, all that kind of stuff. Those guys and girls, Richard Clapton. And we have not had one that we can say
hasn't been good.
Hasn't been great. And each and every one of them, like Mark, John Diesel, I was talking to him, and after we'd finished chatting, as the interview or the chat, we were just talking, and his publicist comes in and literally interrupts the both of us and says, "Oh, Mark, you got to go." And he just turned around and he said, "Oh, I'm really sorry, man," and then I had to go with his publicist. So, you know what I mean? Yeah. So we're talking here, but no, it's been an absolute blast. The guys and girls that we've spoken to, and we've had nothing but praise for them.
That's good.
Yeah. Has anybody?
It's nice to hear, because rock and roll gets a bit of a bad industry, because I think when everyone's younger, especially the boys and testosterone, throw alcohol and girls in the mix, it gets a bit messy. But everyone kind of settles, everyone's grown up now. And we've done the hard yards, there wasn't the only really profile show that we had then was Countdown, and it was playing live. It wasn't, instant success through TV shows. Everyone worked really hard and toured extensively. So everyone's really worked hard to get to where they are. And there's a great respect and a lot of joy. It's really playful.
Excellent.
Everyone, even on the cruise, the boys from the AB80s, they're all hanging backstage waiting for us, and Eurogliders and, JPY, and we all went to each other's shows, and just enormous amount of support and friendship. It's really good.
That's wonderful.
I feel very lucky.
Yeah. When the Shantuzis took a hiatus, you kept up a very public profile with a number of different TV shows that you were involved in.
Yeah.
During that time, did you maintain contact, or very strong contact, with Ali and the rest of the guys, just to make sure, sort of, are we gonna do this again, or was it?
No, we didn't really discuss it, because I left first because I just, for a number of reasons, but I wanted to have a baby, and it wasn't going to happen being on the road.
No. Yeah.
And that was a really important thing for me, know. So then I started doing my own band, and I could get residencies in my own neighbourhood and still be around and meet a guy, which I did. And as I mentioned earlier, I had a kid.
Yep.
But we were all still, the girls kept going for a little while longer, and then that kind of fell apart. And then I got offered a tour of the Northern Territory to go into Arnhem Land and, have quite an extensive tour. And I asked the promoter, I said, could I have some of my girlfriends do it with me? I don't want to do it on my own.
Oh, really?
So I said to the girls, do you want to join me on this tour? And they were like, yeah. So we just kind of behind the scenes did stuff. And I think it was really after the Countdown in 2005, I think it was, that, people started inviting us onto their bill, like Brian Cannon from Pseudos asked me if I'd come along, and they thought they needed a bit of a female in there, and Ali started doing it with Scott Kahn from Kids in the Kitchen, and Eve was doing some with, other bands. And then after a while, we just went, well, why aren't we doing this ourselves, really?
Exactly.
Fair enough, too.
So we do it all. We still do it. We still play with other bands.
But
like I'm doing some work with George Capaniatis, and
Oh, wow.
I do quite a bit of work with him with some gigs, and I've done some with Brian Mannix as well and Scott Kahn. So we just kind of have fun. It's all about having fun.
oh God, I can imagine what sort of fun you'd have with Brian Mannix. I remember seeing the Uncanny X-Men quite a number of times. They were just absolutely wild on stage, but I used to love it. Absolutely love their shows.
He is hilarious.
I'd love to have a chat to him. I'd love to have a few beers with him sometime. I really would.
Yeah, well, be ready. Have a big dinner before you meet him. His stomach well lined.
Oh, okay.
A litre of milk.
I can do that.
But when we were on the cruise, because they were on the Cruise and Groove as well, and John English was meant to be in the lineup, and of course, very sadly, he passed away. And so we did a tribute night for him. And
lovely.
The Shantuzi Girls, we did one of his numbers. It actually was a Dixie Chick song, but I also did a song with Brian Mannix, because last minute, the day before, he just said, I can't do this song on my own. There's no way I can do it. So they wrote me in, and I was counselling him before we got on stage. He was so nervous. So don't take all that bravado too seriously.
Well, I know.
He's so funny. He's just a really funny person.
I know there's a lot of difference. I know there's a lot of difference between what you see on stage and what you can see backstage. But it just seems like with Brian anyway, what you saw on stage is what you were going to get. It doesn't matter where you were. So, what was the song? What was the song you were duetted with him?
Oh, hang on, I'm going to look it up because I've got my laptop in front of me, and it's probably I might have deleted it by now.
No. Would love to have heard that. That would have been awesome.
Well,
whichever one it was.
He did it really well. Let me just see.
We're John English fans, you know what I mean? Like I met John English. Oh my goodness.
Too many
years ago, probably back in 1983, I think it was. I met John.
He was fabulous.
And we for many years we've been trying to get him actually on the show. You know, we've been writing back and forth and then we found out about his passing, and it was devastating. It was devastating for both Mark and I.
It was a big shock to everyone. And I mean, I worked with him. I did a play with him and Dennis Waterman and Sue Hodge like years ago, and we toured the country. It was called Don't Dress for Dinner. So I got to know him pretty well. And then knowing that he was going to be on this cruise, and I was so excited to see him, and then he didn't get on the cruise. So anyway, his girlfriend, I thought it was really brave of her. She put together a tribute, and everyone except for John Farnham came on board.
Oh, wow.
That would have been...
The song was Get Your Love Right.
Okay.
That's amazing. John didn't get that.
Get your love right.
See yourself in the morning light.
Yes. That would have been... That I can actually just imagine that if they had the stage lights down a bit for it and just made it a really soulful performance, I'll put my hand up and say I would have been in tears listening to it.
Get the rustic voice.
We did. Hang on, I'm going to Google it as well. It's Loving Arms by the Dixie Chicks.
Yep.
And John did that, and that had everyone in tears. So the three of us girls did 3-part harmonies, but they also had the backing vocalists, 2 of them that jumped in and added into that, and it was pretty much 4-part harmonies.
Wow.
With 5 of us singing, and it was goosebumps. It was...
I can imagine.
Really something, and I just don't know how she pushed through, but she pulled the whole thing together. And it was really, really special, and the audience was just as moved as we were. All of us. It was it was really sad and really beautiful, and a celebration of his life. And
it was, John was a very a charismatic fellow, but he was also a larrikin of a hell of a bloke.
He was a larrikin, really kind, incredibly kind larrikin. Really, I mean, I worked with him on the road, and I got to know him quite well, and an incredibly kind person.
My father-in-law, when he immigrated here to Australia, when they were living in Sydney, if I remember rightly, he knew John when John used to deliver newspapers as a young boy.
Yeah.
That was
Just a freak meeting.
Just a freak meeting, you know what I mean? And,
right, yeah.
And it's just amazing how, you know, when I used to talk to Dad, and Dad I didn't think that bloke could do something like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, anyway, let's bring everything forward now. You've been back together. You've been sort of off and on, but you've been back together for a few years, and you've been touring fairly solid.
To Melbourne 4 years ago from Sydney.
Yep.
And because Eve and I had been singing together, and we called ourselves Twosies because there was two of us.
Yes.
And then when Ali came down, she jumped in, and then Angie came back on. But Angie, you know, she had another baby, and it all just got too hard with her 2 teenagers and a baby. And then we just kept going and we covered "Baby It's You,"
which we're going to play. We're going to play that at the end of this.
Well, Brian Canham, you know, Studio Echo, he actually produced that for us. So
okay.
That was a bit of fun.
Yeah.
And then we put out a song that I wrote when I was in my late 20s called "Black and Blue." We put that out. Just going, let's just put something else out. And it was more to keep getting live work, just to help, because you've got to get publicity and get on the morning shows and be able to sing things live, and that really helps. You know, people booking you if they know that you can get press, because you get people along to the venues. So we've sort of really done it for that purpose more than because we're all doing other things, and just putting singles out just to keep doing it because we love it so much.
Rumour has it.
Yours.
That rumours have got to be true, as you know. Rumour has it that "Baby It's You," it's an awesome song on its own. Was not released in Oz.
Was it?
Where was it?
I'm just
where
looking.
Did you release it?
The information that was given, the information that was given to us, just about "Baby It's You," was it actually? It wasn't released in Australia. Was that correct?
Well, how did I know it? How did we know it? I don't know.
No. What we mean is your particular version. Wasn't released in Australia.
Oh, our particular.
Yes. Sorry.
Sorry, my misunderstanding.
We're not talking. Not Promise's version. Your version.
What do you mean?
I'm just. It's just.
Yeah. It was. I mean, in what sense? I mean, we didn't do a big release. We went and put it on iTunes. We recorded it.
Okay.
Play it live. Played it in the live studio audience thing. Put it on iTunes.
Mhm.
I don't know. I mean, we didn't do like a launch because it was one song.
That's what we meant. You know, what I mean, it wasn't a big launch for the song.
No. We didn't do that. We kind of, you know, just slipped it in there.
Yeah.
Recorded it, but we're actually talking about, because we, especially doing the Pure Gold live shows, it's just been incredible for us. There's such a demand for our songs that we're thinking about maybe doing a best of. So that's something on the cards.
Okay. We'll definitely keep an eye out for that. I did actually see you guys midway through this year, I think, and this will maybe not shock you, but at the GWS Giants game with yourself and the Eurogliders.
Oh yes, we double with them a lot. We're such a mix with them. You were there.
Yes, I was there. I'm a big Giants fanatic. Yes. And
did you win? I should know that. I can't remember now.
We did. Yeah, the Giants won that day, so don't worry about that.
So you saw that? That was I
was there and harassed Grace and Ali after half time when you guys had finished, sort of thing, and you were being led away with the entourage. Quickly harassed them to say hello and introduce myself, because we'd spoken with Grace night previously, and said a quick hello to Ali, and then you guys all sort of disappeared, which I was sort of half disappointed about, but you know, that's life.
Yeah, sorry.
No. I'm sure you're probably thinking to yourself, who's this? I'm sure you're thinking, who's this stalker behind me? So.
Well, no, I don't tend to think that way.
Okay, let's talk about Pure Gold Live in Sydney. It's on Friday, the 23rd of December. Including the Shantuzies, we're also talking about with Swanee, Real Life, the Dynamic Hypnotics, who I'm so looking forward to, the Eurogliders, Kids in the Kitchen, Glenn Shorrock, 1927, Dragon, Ross Wilson, and heaps of others.
Yeah,
this is going to be unbelievable.
I know, because normally we get to do like 3 or 4 songs, and this is going to be 2 songs each, or we'll be there for 3 days. But it'll be
wouldn't bother us, believe it.
Fast turnover. Like there's actually, I don't know if anyone's using their whole house band, like their whole band. I mean, because it's just so hard turning it over. Some people, like MySex, have like 2 of theirs, like keys and guitar, and then use the house.
Yep.
Because it's too much. It takes too long.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know how they're going to.
Is it Ross Wilson?
Well, in the full list, if we want to go through it, you got Ross Wilson, Dragon, Glenn Shorrock, 1927, Pseudo Echo, Steve Kilby from The Church, Kids in Kitchen, Chocolate Starfish, Thirsty Merc, The Radiators. God knows how anybody's going to go as a backing band for The Radiators on their own.
What?
Exactly. The Irregliders, John Paul Young, Shane Howard from Goanna, Wendy Matthews, The Shantoozies, Rose Tattoo, My Sex, The Dynamic Hypnotics, Swanee, and Real Life.
Yay! David Sterry's going to be there. I love him.
Well,
he's such a gorgeous man. I've worked quite a lot with him too.
Well, we're
going to have so much fun. That's going to be ridiculous.
I'm so looking forward to it. Myself and my sister and a few friends are going. So
You're not a host. You're not comparing or emceeing it.
No, unfortunately, no. We're not good. We're not good enough for that.
No.
Oh yeah, right.
If you put in a good word for me, I might be able to.
Yeah, there you go.
I'd love to,
Well,
but
they always have someone from the Gold.
I think it's actually, someone from WSFM here in Sydney is hosting the Sydney one because it's dribbling around the country sort of under the ARN network.
Yeah, but those people, those commercial radio blokes, I don't know. They should get us.
I did radio. I hosted breakfast radio in Melbourne for a year.
Did you now?
Yeah.
There you go.
Man,
That's something I didn't know about.
Hard work. Well, I was still hosting sex nights, so I was like getting up at 4:30 in the morning, getting in there, reading the paper, Well, I never had coffee till before I did radio. I had a 3-year-old daughter on my own, and then I'd fly up to Sydney at the end of the week to
crikey.
5 shows of that. It was just nuts.
I can imagine.
We've been doing this show together now for 10 years. We were in commercial radio together for a little while as well. And I've been actually on this station since 1990.
But you haven't had the fun of doing breakfast.
I have done breakfast.
It's a whole nother beast.
I have.
This is true.
Breakfast.
I actually
don't get to do things like this and have a proper chat. You're against the clock all the time.
That's right.
Plugging things.
That's right.
It's just hectic.
That's the reason.
That's the reason why we love doing this, because it's open
do
slather. We talk as
exactly.
We try and bring exactly. Oh, thank you. We try and bring exactly that to a chat. We don't say it's an interview because we're not really interviewing you. You're there where it's like I said to John. It is, and unfortunately, still commercial radio still does it as in, hi, this is what we're saying, this is what we're doing. Yes, what do you want? And then I cut you off in the middle of what you're saying.
Yeah, 3 minutes and that's it.
I know. I did it, and there were 3 of us, and you spend half your time putting a hand in the air so you can say something, and you've got to know how you're going to get out of that before you even start saying it.
Well,
it's really intense. It pays really good money, but I wouldn't do it again.
I was when I first had the first chat I had with the Angels, it was with John Brewster, and I said to John, it's like you and I sitting down having a coffee and we're having a talk. And at the end of it, I said, oh, thanks very much, John. I appreciate it. And he said, no, Ben. He said, thank you. And I said, what for? And he said, it actually did feel like you and I were just sitting down having a coffee.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And that's
really
the way
we want
it. Feel good.
Quality, not quantity.
Thank you.
Love you.
Exactly.
Love
your work.
I should have recorded that, shouldn't I? All right, Tottie, listen, we'll let you go. Thanks heaps and heaps and heaps for the
Absolutely.
chat. So looking forward to Pure Gold Live here in Sydney.
Hopefully we'll see you back afterwards. Come and say hi.
Please do. Look.
And thanks for supporting us and the arts and music and...
No worries. Look, and we also too have an open door policy here at Retro Rock Live. If any time on a Sunday night that you and the girls find yourselves in the southwest of Sydney, free and with nothing to do, please let us know beforehand, and you can pop on in the studio.
Absolutely.
We can chat and we can raise all sorts of hell.
Beautiful. I love it. I'll pass it on to the chicks.
Oh, awesome.
All right, guys.
And not only that, we'd just like to say have a Merry Christmas. Have yourself a prosperous New Year, and I hope everything goes well for you over the term. And of course, we'd love to chat to you again maybe next year or on the show to see how things are going.
Fantastic. Thanks, guys. And same back to you. All of that yummy stuff right back at you.
And we'll see you at the gig.
Okay. Brilliant. Okay.
Thanks, Tottie.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye now.